Hey guys, happy U Day. It's Upside Down Day. Hi, Charlie. So I'm reading my book Upside Down. I hope you have some fun today with this. All right, here we go. We left off on chapter 6. I'm halfway through a worksheet on fractions when Justin walks into class. I'm so glad not only that he's back, but that he can help me to understand what to do with something 6 equals 2/3. How many 6 equals 2/3? He sits down at his desk. I hand him the box of wooden fraction pieces. Welcome back. He smiles and then looks over at my worksheet. The answer's 4. Mr. Cohen comes over, hands him a worksheet, and says, Welcome back. How's it going? Great. Justin reaches into his knapsack and pulls out a pencil with Alabama written on it. This is for your collection, Mr. Cohen. Great, 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 I think. Here I spent all of this time missing him, and he says things are going great. Justin smiles. A lot happened. Leaning down, Mr. Cohen quietly asks Justin, Later, would you like to tell the class about what's happening? You certainly don't have to, but if you want to, it might be fun to share. Sure, Justin nods. As Mr. Cohen walks away, I wish that he hadn't said that to Justin. I want Justin to tell me first, not to have everyone find out at the same time. I look over at Justin. He is doing the math homework very quickly. I look down at my math and then start chewing on my nub of a pencil. It would have been nice if Justin had given me a new pencil too. Finished with his math, Justin picks up my paper and checks it out. He finds 2 mistakes, shows me how to do it correctly, and then helps me finish up. Fractions are not my favorite thing. In fact, they are one of my least favorite things. The only things I hate more are 1, Brussels sprouts, 2, watching kids pick their noses and eat the snot, and 3, having people I love leave. Mr. Cohen flicks the lights off and on. Take a minute to finish the problem you're working on, and raise your hand if you want me to come over and explain anything. You can finish this up for homework. People finish up. Since Justin and I are already done, we play tic-tac-toe. I win. We enter the win on a scorecard that Justin keeps in his desk. We've been keeping track since the beginning of the school year. I'm ahead, 220 to 199. The light flicks off and on. Clear your desks. Get ready to pay attention. Justin is going to tell us about his trip. Everyone gets ready, and Justin goes to the front of the room. Here's Justin. Yeah, it's upside down, because it's upside down day. Okay, here we go. I'm sure that he's not going to tell them everything, that there will be some stuff that he'll just tell me. Justin begins. We left very early on Saturday morning. He's wearing a brand new sweatshirt, one that says Alabama. Personally, I don't like this sweatshirt. I wish he had on a sweatshirt that I know. He continues, the airplane trip was really fun. Before the plane took off, the flight attendant let me go up front and see the cockpit and meet the pilot. They gave me wings to wear. Like an angel? Jimmy calls out. So where's your halo? Jimmy, Mr. Cohen uses his teacher voice. Cut it out. Wings. Justin points the pin on his sweatshirt, and then we sat down and the plane went up and this lady in front of us threw up into the barf bag. Ew, yeah, gross, yeah, are a few of the comments from the class. The comment from Mr. Cohen is, Justin, continue please, but without all the gory details. Justin continues. He talks about meeting his dad at the airport, about the motel they stayed at with the game room, swimming pool, room service, and everything. Then he tells us how Mr. Daniels had been looking at lots of houses, and they all went around to check out the ones he liked best, and they found one that they all liked. They picked it out on the first day. I thought buying a house was supposed to take a long, long time. Justin tells us how big the house is, how he and Danny are going to have their own rooms, how his mom said that he could put up baseball player wallpaper in his room, and how there's a special area in the backyard with a basketball hoop. Are any other kids there? Hannah asks. Brandy gives Hannah's arm a shove. What's that for? Hannah rubs her arm as if she'd been run over by a bulldozer. I just asked a simple question. Brandy looks over at me. I stare ahead as if nothing's bothering me. To prove that I'm not upset, I repeat Hannah's question. Any other kids there? Justin nods. Lots. Next door, the family has 5 kids, 2 old enough to babysit for. Danny, 1 my age, John, they call him Junior, and 1 Danny's age, Jim Bob. Twins, Tiffany Schroeder asks. No, Justin explains. A lot of people there have 2 first names. Jim Bob is his first name. Great, I think. Next thing, we're going to have to start calling him Justin Bob. Justin goes on. He tells us about the university where his dad works, how there's a great game room there, and how there's lots of fun stuff to do. Then he tells us about the school they visited, the school that is going to be his new school. He goes on about how they not only have desks, but they have their own lockers, about how it was just built a few years ago, about how instead of 1 3rd grade like we have at our school, there are 4 3rd grades, how you don't have to bring your own lunch because there's a cafeteria that serves complete meals, how the school even has air conditioning. Justin keeps blabbing on. I keep waiting for him to mention the very important thing that his new school and neighborhood doesn't have. Me. But he never does. Sad. Well, we'll have to see what happens as Amber Brown has to kind of deal with this big, important thing that's happening in her life with her best friend moving away. And we'll get to finish the book by the end of school. Yay! All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderfully fun upside down day. Woo woo! And I will see you next time.